Hi, this is Donna Otto, and we are Modern Homemakers, and I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. It's November, and if you haven't noticed, the orange has been moved aside, and the red and green and white lights are popping up everywhere. My husband and I were out in our neighborhood, and we live in a hilly neighborhood now, and so you can climb up a little hill while you're walking, and all of a sudden you see another vista of homes you haven't seen before. And we could not believe how many little hills we went up and down and saw houses already lit in the early part of November. Well, then we had a conversation with a neighbor who said, well, it takes a lot to get someone on your schedule who can come out and hang them. We went back home laughing, saying, ooh, we'd like to get someone on our schedule to come and hang up our lights. We're that schedule, and we've always been very determined to not get caught up in what we think is a secular Christmas celebration. For years, I taught a long day called Home for Christmas, and it is available. Thank you to those of you who recently bought that video program. It is divided into 4 sections, and what I'm going to do in the next couple of days is give you an overview of what I think the most important parts of that long day was. The first is preparation. Get ready. Get the stuff ready. You know you're going to have to get ready, and we'll talk about that for a few minutes. And then the second was gift giving. What kind of gifts to give? And I have a few recommendations and a few ideas that I want to give you. Then came hospitality and events and parties and dating and calendar and how you get all those things done in your house. And then the last 2 parts of that day, which are to me the most important parts, are Christmas Christian traditions. I have no angst with Santa or sleighs or jolly old Saint Nick or Rudolph or any of the rest. The Grinch that stole Christmas, they're all lovely and fun. And I think they're appropriate in our culture. And I think it's very nice when a home that loves Christ says, well, those things are okay too, as long as they don't become the central part. I remember one Christmas, this is years ago, and my daughter loved the old movies, White Christmas and all the old movies. And she said something about, well, we have to get our movie nights on. And I think she was going for what day of the week, and her father said something about, yes, we will get them on, but that won't supersede our Advent celebration. So the last thing I'll talk to you about in the next couple of days is Advent, and we have a number of things that we want to encourage you about that. So, welcome to Christmas, and I hope that the things I'm going to show you, talk to you, hold up in my hand and try to describe via this wonderful tool called podcasting, some of which you'll be able to see on our website, that will help you center in preparation for December. Now, this is November, and as I started to say, our home is always taken very seriously getting Thanksgiving in. We don't rush by it. We don't say, oh, Thanksgiving. We think this is a wonderful country to belong to, that we take aside one day a year to give thanks. Now, I know it's turning into a lot of Black Fridays and Blue Thursdays, and midnight starts on Wednesday night, and a lot of shopping, and bonuses, and people waiting in long lines. And a couple of years ago, some friends of ours said, well, we can come, but we have to leave at 4:30. And my husband said, okay, all right, that was the condition. And then they said, because we have to get to some major store, which was starting their line at 4:30. And so they were interested in buying whatever it was from the department store. So we want to go and just say, don't miss Thanksgiving. I talked to you a few weeks ago about the 5 grains of corn and about the importance of giving thanks. And there are many portions of the scripture that talk about Thanksgiving and who to give thanks to. The key word to these next 6 or 7 weeks is organization. And the key word to organization is preparation. Preparation. And the definition of preparation is to make ready for something specific. And I think when I began teaching this class, I realized that everything comes on us at once. And suddenly we say, well, what am I going to buy? Well, how am I going to wrap it? And how am I going to get it? And what about the list and the money and everything? So I want to give you here in the middle of November a few ideas that you can start right now that will help that hectic part of December go a little better. First of all, we really encourage you to consider making a budget. And we have a budget online that you can use. It's a Christmas budget, and it includes things like food serving and the amount of ingredients you need and decorations if you buy a real tree, or what kind of things you buy every year. Christmas cards, do we send them? Do we email them? Do we take a picture? How traditional are you? Gift wrapping, it just seems like paper. By the time you get the paper and the ribbon and the scotch tape and a tag to put on it, it can be costly. So get an idea of what you're going to spend on these items now. Don't wait until December is over and we look at the January credit card bills and we're sick at our stomachs. So get a little preparation. In November, in this month, be certain you get your Christmas list ready. Just make a list. If you've already bought presents, I buy presents all year long, and I put wrapping paper on them when I buy them. That could be May or April or June or September, and right now I have a little pile of those packages that are already just wrapped. I'll put a ribbon on them and put them under the tree when the tree goes up. But it's a good time to make sure you know who's on the list. That takes a little thinking, and sometimes it takes a family conversation. Is there someone at your husband's employment? Is there someone in your church you're doing? Is there someone in the children's classrooms? Who are these people that your family is going to extend a Christmas greeting to, whether it's a card or a gift? It's also a good time to get a calendar. And I recommend only at Christmas time that you get a poster board and you put December 1 through December 31, little boxes that make a calendar so that everyone gets their item on that calendar. Now, if you have 2 people in your family and they both work, you have work parties, you have church parties, you have friendship parties, you have neighborhood parties. If you have a child, you have school parties, PTA parties, sports parties. If you have 5 children, you have that times 5. So everybody gets on the calendar. Now, you can't make every event, and maybe the children can't make every event. And this is the time to start saying, okay, we're all going to this together. If something else pops up for you or not, then you're not going to be able to attend that. And then begin to prepare the items you use at Thanksgiving and Christmas. A lot of us have turkey platters, and my kitchen doesn't hold a turkey platter anymore. And so I have my turkey platter in my storage system in the garage. So now is the time to get that turkey platter out and get it laundered if you're going to use it for Thanksgiving. Or maybe you have some particular Christmas dishes. I've heard so many girls say to me in the years, last 10 years especially, I got these beautiful dishes for my wedding. I have china that was given to me by my grandmother. I don't use it very often. I'd like to use it on these holidays, but it's in a box and it's dirty. Yeah, those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. Get them out, get them prepared, get your kids to help. Get the kinds of things you're going to be going to pull out of the cabinet, and you don't want to pull it out dirty. You want to pull it out and be ready with it. The first couple of weeks in December, if you are sending cards, you need to get them out and get them going. I love the email Christmas cards. I think they're very fun. Most of us are not hanging them on walls anymore, so it's nice to look at them and see them and store them if we can on our computer, or just discard them. But get the Christmas cards and get your gift wrapping, your gifts purchased. Most of us have gifts we have in mind, especially for those close to us. We have 2 grandchildren. We have a daughter and a son-in-law and my husband and myself. Now, those 6 people are the people I'm most concerned with having a Christmas gift for, and a gift they want, and not one that I'm looking around the last minute. I can still remember one of our grandchildren, when they were 6 or 7 or 9 or some age like that, suddenly wanted this thing, and everybody wanted the same thing. And my husband and I got in a car and drove about 40 miles to the only store who had one of those things left. We did it because it was our grandchild. But avoid that, and try to get. The last thing I would say about these gift giving, buying, online, of course, is the very best way to do that these days. But if you have to go to a store, try to get those stores in some order and plan them, leave early in the day and go and get them. Wrapping can be very simple. I try to keep it simple. We have lots of ideas about complicated things to do for wrapping packages, but get a regular, whatever paper you choose, whether it's a print or a plaid or a salad, but get one paper and wrap all your packages on the same paper. You say, but I have a little scraps left over from last year. Good. Use them all up this year, and then from this point on, just get one paper and one ribbon and wrap everything the same way. Now, let's talk about decorating the house. We used to have a much bigger house, and we had a lot of decorations. And we got rid of most of those things. We have a much smaller house. But we have things to put up at the front door, the back door, over the garage. We have lights to put on the bush. We have a Christmas tree. We have things to put on the fireplace mantle. And all of that takes time and preparation. Keyword organization is preparation. Do you need candles for your Hanukkah wreath, or your Advent wreath, I should say, or your Hanukkah, what do they call that? Hanukkah tree. Whatever it is you celebrate that you need candles for, now is the time to get them and get them ordered so that you have them at home. The last week of December is all about final things, checking everything out. Even the children's programs, do they have costumes they need to have? Get it ready. I also recommend, before you decorate the house, before you put the tree up, before you hang the wreaths, do what I call a spring cleaning. A spring cleaning at the end of November before you decorate for Christmas, because you're not going to clean up that much during the month of December. It's going to be more light house cleaning. Now is a good time to give it a good thorough cleaning, polishing and dusting and getting everything ready to be decorated. Make every move count when you're doing that, and go through the rooms carefully. Packing your storage holiday items goes to the idea that I have written about in the book, Getting More Done in Less Time, and that's having a storage system. A storage system comes in 3 pieces. It's a box that doesn't have any writing on it. It can be an office box. It could be a box. It's nice if the box lid is attached to it. If it isn't, make it as sturdy a box as you can get. Make them all the same size boxes. And then just write the number 25 on box number 1. And box number 2 is 25A. And box number 3 is 25B, etc., depending on how much Christmas decorations you have. And then you're going to type into your computer or make a 3x5 card the contents of what's in 25, box 25. You don't have to write it on the box because when you repack them for next year, you may put something else in those boxes. All you have to do is reconfigure the contents. Very simple. And last year, during the move, we had many boxes we did not even open because we knew we did not have the time or energy to put them up. We could look at the cards. We use 3x5 cards still and decide which ones we were giving and which ones we weren't. And the last thing I want to talk about today is gift giving. Let's see. Yes. No, I think I'm going to hold on gift giving and do it the next time we're together. What I want to talk to you about is now you've got a list. And try not to add people to that list. Try to make a broad sweep. Is there the postman you want to remember? Is there a neighbor in your neighborhood? Is there someone at church who's been teaching your children Sunday school? Is the school teacher? Is the school principal done something extraordinary this year that you want to celebrate him or her? So making sure you have your list will be prepared to talk about gifts and gift giving. We can't turn the calendar back. It's the middle of November. And I hope these next shows that we're having on Modern Homemakers will encourage you and give you some ideas to celebrate the birth of Christ in December 2021. Remember, the common begin and the uncommon finish. Go out and make it a very uncommon day of preparing for Christmas 2021.